Hello, it's Mike. NoStressMike.com. I hope it's not too windy. Uh, but I want to talk about using gold and silver. Uh, I'll be taking off on the motorcycle here as the weather warms up, and the way it looks. It's warming up pretty quick. And as I travel, I'll be using gold and silver. And so I mean, gasoline, I won't be able to. I'm going to use cash for that. But the thing is, I'm going to learn. So I'm going to learn a lot. Right now, a lot of what I do is presentation. And by presenting gold and silver in the right manner, it makes sense. And what it is, it's an educational thing. And so I'm trying to teach people how it works and how to use it and what's it worth and this type of stuff. And it was kind of odd. I was talking to a guy in Washington State, and we were talking somewhat about this stuff. And like I say, neither one of us really knows how to do it. And he was talking about there's up north of where he is, they're starting a barter type situation where they're going to start using gold and silver. And I told him, well, keep me up on that because I'd sure like to know. And but the thing is, what I've been using it for and explaining it is trying to tell people 1/10 ounce would be loosely saying a dime, a silver dime, and it's even smaller than 1/10 of an ounce, and it's only 90%, so it's not, but people recognize it as a silver coin, and that is worth a meal. Now, and I say that just by you have to give metals some kind of value, and the best that I've been able to come up with is a meal. Now that meal consists of what? When you fix lunch at the house, it's going to be roughly a dime of silver, a quarter ounce of silver for a meal. And now that's just a rough amount, so that's where I came up with that. And we all get hungry, and so I thought this would be a good way to help people understand what a dime is worth. Get you something to eat. Now, depending on where you're at, that's going to tell you what that something's going to be. Kansas. I'm in Kansas. Breadbasket, wheat, so it's going to give you bread. Maine would give you a lobster. Texas would get you some kind of meat, sometimes stuff. So it just depends. Just a roughly understanding of what this silver is worth. Now from there, you can go on and okay, we know how much it is. I get hungry, I know how much it's going to take for that. Now it's funny because it's now it takes because I go out to eat now, and it takes about $10 to get something to eat. And it's funny because okay, so that makes that silver coin worth $10. No, it doesn't. I used to have a restaurant in the oil field, and I was making $5 a meal, in which I was getting a lot of money, and that most meals cost less than five. But in the oil field, everybody's got money. We're out in the middle of nowhere. There's not like there's a lot of restaurants and all this kind of stuff. So I was able to get a little more. And it costs a little more to get the food there and prepare it and stuff like that. So at that time, does that make that dime worth $5? Well, it does in my thinking. It's a meal. It's worth a meal. But really, what's happened, inflation has gone on. And so, in other words, that dime is still worth a 10th ounce of silver is still worth a 10th ounce of silver, whatever it is. But the food, the price has gone up on it. So in other words, those numbers that they put on it is what made it go up. That's why it costs $10 for me to go eat now. It's not like the food's worth any more than what it was. It's not like that 1/10 ounce of silver is worth more than what it was. It's the 1/10 ounce of silver is still worth the same thing. So that's where I came up with that idea. Now I'm not saying that's the way it is, but for you to tell me a $10 meal is worth $10, you are telling me that somebody says it's worth $10. So in other words, you're taking somebody's word that it's worth that. And like I say, I'm just giving you my word, but I'm explaining my word. My word is based on my experience. And it just gives you an idea of what it is. The thing is that the person I was talking to in Washington, he's got honey. He's got honeybees, and he makes honey. And so I'm trying to figure out how he can place value on that honey. Now his value is $20 for a quart of honey, and but that's the value he put on it. No different than anything else. And I told him what he needs to do is package that honey in which a dime would seem a fair amount of money. And he says, well, no, because it'll cost more than that. And I said, well, you can cost it anything you want, but it doesn't make any difference. You're the one that's putting the cost on it. Package it so it equals a dime. And this way, it'll be easier for him to barter with that honey. Now, if he says it's 20, and now you have to kind of figure out what 20 is, it's going to get a little more complicated. So maybe you need to package it where a dime would be equal to what he's packaging it for. And now you can sell it to anything you want, but if you're thinking about trading it for gold and silver, it'd be a whole lot easier if you did it in a dime. Figure what a dime would be. And then but yeah, you can do it for a quarter, you can do it for 50 cents, you can do it for any of those. But it's going to be easier to get a dime than a quarter or 50 cents or a silver dollar for it. We're just talking about something sensible. And he says, yeah, but it's worth more than that. Okay, well, it's worth more than that. Try to find people that are going to give you that much for it. Okay, a dime, everybody should have a roll of dimes, silver dimes. I think they're about maybe $150 for a roll of dimes, something like that. I mean, everybody should have at least that. I always say you don't take something for nothing. I mean, I see people, I meet people, they'll buy me lunch, or I'll eat at their house or something like that. I still give them a silver dime. And uh, because I don't want something for nothing. That's not what I do. And the thing is, how much silver coins? You think I'm going to give you a silver dollar every time you're doing something for me? I'm going to give you a silver dollar. Man, silver dollars are expensive. And if you think I'm going to start handing them out like dimes, you're crazy as hell. So it'd be easier to do it as a dime. And if we can get more things figured out where this stuff is worth a dime, now you can relate it to other things. I say I'm going to the dentist in Tulsa. I'm getting a bridge, and it's funny because when I first started going to him, I started paying him gold and silver, and his nurse or secretary, whatever they were shocked that he takes stuff, gold and silver, other than money. He thought he worked for money. Well, this guy's successful, and so he's got plenty of money. So then, hey, everybody can use a little bit more gold and silver, and so I'm doing it half price. So I had him check my teeth. I gave him a silver dollar for checking my teeth, and then his secretary, oh, what? And I said, well, I gave her one because she was giving me good service and stuff like that. And that's all it costs, $2 silver. And then now I'm getting that partial. I'm getting it for a roll of quarters and a couple of silver dollars. And it's a $700 partial, and that's what I'm going to give them, a roll of quarters and a couple silver dollars. And that'll come out about half price. And because when you're using gold and silver, you use it normally about half price in the way of labor, when you're trading labor. In other words, you're a carpenter. If he's going to charge everybody $1,000 to do this work, he'll charge you $500 in gold and silver. And then I've had somebody make a comment, and I think he was a plumber, and he says, "Well, why would I do it for half price? I'll charge full price, and I'll buy my own gold and silver." And then so I say, you sound like an intelligent person. How much gold and silver do you have? He doesn't have any gold and silver. So in other words, he would have been farther ahead if he'd take half price gold and silver, because that's all profit. It's just his labor, So, and I say a carpenter is doing all this stuff. He's doing $1,000 worth of labor, and he's using $500 worth of product. Putting in a new stool or whatever they're doing. You pay for because you can't trade labor. They've got so much money in product. You have to pay for the product, but then the labor you can trade it out, half price in gold and silver. And but anyway, I just thought I would let you know I'm doing this, give you something to think about, let you know I will be getting on the road. And the first place I'm going to be doing is going down south.